So my name is Jacqueline Hamilton. Everyone calls me Jackie because Jacqueline becomes such a long name. So we are in Hong Kong since 2013. I arrived in September on the 3rd. We came over because of my husband's job. So he was working at the helicopter company before, and obviously I tag along, so I became an expat wife. I think the nice thing when we came over to Hong Kong, and immediately when I got my ID card, I didn't realize it was just so easy to actually, start working or actually start feeling like as if you are part of Hong Kong expat community. So I think with me, as soon as I got my ID card, I got myself a job, and I felt also at that time, maybe because when my husband went to work, I was probably at home, so I like to work. So as soon as I got my ID, I got myself a job, and I started working. So I think the nice thing is with Hong Kong, it was just so easy to feel like I'm feeling settled in this country. I worked for a hair salon for about 2 years, up until I became pregnant with the twins. And because it was a twin pregnancy, I couldn't really stand that long. So I took some time away just to, do my duties and make sure I'm good and healthy with the kids. So generally, I feel like in Hong Kong, since we arrived here in 2016 and 2013 up until now, Hong Kong it's been an easy transition for me especially. And I think also especially like as a foreign person and as an African person, to be able to open a shop and run a shop and to make it successful, especially in this economy where everything is so expensive. I found it extremely challenging firstly, but also in the same sense easy. Because where we're staying in Sai Kung, we have a small community, and I feel like because of a smaller community and because most of our expat wives, husbands are sometimes working away, people tend to support each other. And I feel also as a hairdresser, my service is a necessity. Doesn't matter what happens in the economy, doesn't matter what happens anywhere, people will always need their hair done. So with my business, it is one of those ones that if people actually maybe feel down, they think if I do my hair, I will feel better. So in that sense, my shop has always become a place where people feel like they can come to as a pick-me-up. I opened Aphrodite Hair and Makeup on the 10th of September 2018. Prior to that, I was working in the salon when I became pregnant with the twins, and then from there I took some time away from working and I looked after my kids for 1 year. And as a new mom with twins, I felt really overwhelmed. I didn't get out of the house because I was basically either breastfeeding or either I was pumping for the kids. And then when they became about 1 year old, I thought, you know what, if I felt this much isolation, and also it was just so hard to, to make sure I take care of the kids, but also I took care of myself, which was really, really difficult. So when I thought, if I felt like this, there must be other moms also struggling to take care of themselves, but then also to be home with the children. So I came up with my little business plan, and I started doing hair at homes for moms that were breastfeeding and that had really, really small kids. So I had a very niche market, because then that's the thing, women understand exactly how it feels. And then it took me about a couple of times, and then mom started sharing, baby breastfeeding and the hairdresser standing behind her doing her highlights. And it became so popular that within 3 months, it was too busy for me. And I couldn't do house calls anymore. And I got myself a place in Sai Kung again, working out of a Chinese salon. And we worked on a freelance basis. And the nice thing is with there, people had already kind of got to know me. So I became also pretty busy. And it took me about 1 year of saving up enough money. And I felt like, okay, maybe I can actually open my own business. The name Aphrodite Hair and Makeup, actually it's a very old name. I met my husband in 2008, and we moved. I had my first salon in Botswana. So this one was called Buzz Hair and Beauty. I did meet my husband when he came into my shop for a haircut at the time. So from there we moved to East Africa. We went to Zanzibar. So and we were there for about 2 years or so. And also even then I said to my husband, I was like, babe, I feel like I need to open a shop. And we were looking for different names. I don't know, like I think, even like now what I'm thinking is like, how did I actually come to the name? But it is one of those ones that just kind of jumped up and it's stuck to me. But and also like, I love Aphrodite, the Greek goddess. And so she is the goddess of beauty and sensuality and femininity. So like it just became like the most appropriate name for my shop because I am dealing with all these women. And this is kind of what we are thriving for. It is ultimately beauty, inner beauty and also physical beauty. Yeah. So how we came to the logo of my salon. So one day I was sitting with my friend at our house, and I was like, oh, I need to find a logo for my shop. And then we were watching a show on TV, and I think it was a show about like a home decor or whatever. But they went into the gate, and as they got into the house, they had like a placard on the door or on the gate that had curly whirly things. And my friend is like, oh, Jackie, I think maybe we can use the edges of the curly whirly, put it on your logo, and it'll be kind of like the hair. So she had a niece that was sitting there, and she was just starting out with her graphic designing, and she's like, oh, Nora, what you can do, use the curly whirly, put it into a logo, and then we can see what we can come up. And that's exactly what we came up with. So these ones all represent the tips or the ends of the hair. And the nice thing is now, because everyone, if they see my logo, they know it's exactly as Aphrodite logo. And I think that's the biggest thing, you know, but creating a brand. So even if I don't say anything else, if people see the logo, they associate it with being a very colorful person, hence all the bright colors. Yeah, so definitely it represents my company very well. So this one here is my working station. So the clients would normally have to sit on the chair, and we kind of make sure we have a cup of tea for her. And then we have our waiting area right here. And then we have the most amazing basin. Honestly, this was one of my investments. I had to make sure. So when people come in, you know what, they are relaxed. Sometimes people come in and they have maybe a bit of a back problem or they have neck problems. So, but this chair makes sure they're comfortable. We have a good headrest on there. And then also we have the footrest over here. But, and then we also have my little reception area. I have in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chairs. And even as a single headdresser, I can fill up the salon pretty easily. So my products, I used to, shall I talk about that? The products I used to use Alpha Power, but now they're not in Hong Kong anymore. Yeah, unfortunately, and I did love their products, but then I think I'll have to look for a different supplier again. But I tell you, I love the space. I feel like it's got a fantastic energy in the shop, where people come in and they always come in, they say, oh, it looks so relaxing, or it feels so relaxing, it feels very homely. And that is exactly the kind of feelings I wanted to create. It's like a home away from home. But then just this home you are paying for for your services. Yeah. I have a photo of my family here. So I do feel like even if I'm at home, even if I'm in the salon, they kind of always part of my day. Yeah. And my little reception area. So this reception, I got it from Taobao. And these ones are, generally they use these ones for restaurants, for the hosts. But I feel like because my shop is a bit smaller, this did the perfect job of, serving as a receptionist desk. Okay, so like I said, I opened Aphrodite Hair and Makeup on the 10th of September. And that was a fantastic day actually, because all my clients that I had from the previous salon, we all moved over, so it didn't feel like it was a new business. It just felt like we were going into a new premises, but it was like already an existing business. And I feel like the thing with Aphrodite is because it's all about me. Because people come in because of the experience they feel and their connection towards the hairdresser. I suppose that's the thing with the hairdressers, people don't tend to move and move and move because you end up building a connection. And for me, the biggest thing with Aphrodite was to make sure that when people come in, they feel either safe, they feel connected, they feel like they will be taken care of, and also I think most importantly, I know my value, so the prices they pay, they feel like they were worth it. So when they do come in, I make sure we upkeep the standard of the services we provide, and also because most of my clients are moms, and I know exactly how it feels like to be a mom, where you do take care of your family, you take care of all other obligations, and you're actually putting yourself at the bottom of your priority list. So when moms come in here, they feel a bit tired, they feel overwhelmed, they feel scared. They know that when they come in here, they were going to feel like actually they're taking care of themselves for a moment. And when they normally leave, the reason why they come back is because they remember the feeling they had when they come in here and when they leave. And I think generally, I think people can, the person I am, you can exactly see who I am from when you meet me. I don't feel like I'm a very open person. And I think probably that's one of the biggest things that attracts people to myself and my business. But also I make sure that I provide a service, and also I think but humans always needs connection. Doesn't matter what kind of service you do. So for us it is with the hair, and also like while they're sitting in my chair. I have 2 hours with one person at a time, and these times is actually the ones where I feel I get to know a client and they get to know me also. So the funny thing is I'm an African woman, and in Hong Kong my specialty became highlights. So 90% of my clients actually come in here to do blonde hair. And sometimes I do get asked the questions like, how can you do a Caucasian hair so well? And how can you actually especially do Caucasian hair to make them blonde? But I feel like it's my passion firstly, but also any trait can be learned. If you learn and you practice and you get good at it, then it definitely is possible. So generally, most of my clients are Westerners. I can do African hair because of my own hair. The nice thing about being an owner in Hong Kong, actually I feel like is an achievement, actually anywhere in the world, to put yourself out there and to, to have your aspirations, you have your dreams, but actually to act on them. Because I tell you, the night before I signed the contract, I was so scared, I was so nervous. And I did ask my husband, I asked him, babe, do you think I'm making the right decisions? And honestly, he's my voice of reason. So, and he did say, well, it was a good idea, bad idea, but also the buck stops with me, right? So it doesn't matter what he say, it is still my decision to be made. And I mean, like, I came in and I signed the contract, and for me, it was the best decision I made at the time. And I tell you, it wasn't always easy because, to try and make sure what can I say, being a mom, being a wife, just being Jackie, and making sure when people come in, I'm the hairdresser they expect. It can be very overwhelming, and actually I felt really overwhelmed at one point. I think also the thing was when people come in, they do treat a hairdresser as a psychiatrist, as a lawyer, as a relationship counselor. So like they bring all their personal stuff, and for me, so I had to learn how to. When the client leaves, and also when I leave the shop, how do I make sure I do not take all these issues home? But then also the thing is, when you don't really know how to, I did take it at home in the beginning, and I can't do anything if someone have relationship problems, but I can advise to best my knowledge. But then I think my biggest things I had to do was to learn to make sure when I leave the shop, I leave people's issue in the shop also, and I would just go home as Jackie, as the mom, and as my husband's wife. But then also it did take a bit of practice, and sometimes I would ask clients, like, how do you cope with dealing with your clients when they're in the salon, but also switch off when you go out? Because as human beings, like I said, we want connection, and you cannot just switch off. So generally what I would do, but funny, people think it's funny, but when I leave my shop, I always say good night to Aphrodite. And when I close the door, and I will always tell her, I'll see you tomorrow. And then whatever she does, her juju, I come in tomorrow, and I feel like I'm fresh again. I feel like I'm happy, because if I'm in a good mood and I'm happy and fresh, then I can help my clients again when they come through my doors. Being a black woman in Hong Kong, this definitely is an achievement, and I can actually see when I put something or a post on my Facebook, that people in my country, I can see how proud they are of me, of like how I've come within 5 years of achieving what I have in Hong Kong. But then also I think the proudest moment was when I did open my, the shop the first day, and was also when I, published my first kids book, and then I published my second book. It's just like, actually, these were things that I aspired to do, and I just went out and I just did it, because I feel like there's never a perfect moment, and potentially maybe my first product might not be the perfect one, but I feel like you can always learn. You always learn from, and I think my biggest thing is I always feel the universe bring people along your way if they're supposed to help you on your path. So like even just achieving my small little stepping stones has been, I feel like, such a big accomplishment. But I think also another thing is with Hong Kong, because sometimes you do feel like as a woman of race, how easy it's going to be. But I tell you, I cannot fault Hong Kong, because I came in here, I got my Hong Kong ID card, and I felt like I was just part of Hong Kong citizens. I didn't feel like there was a discrimination between, okay, no, you are African, so this is the limit you can get, and this one is from this country, and that's the limit they can get. So it was just so easy for me to accomplish just my dreams. The products from Alpha Puff, it's an Italian brand, and all their products are 100% natural, and I think that's part of the reason I loved it. So we have beautiful shampoos and conditioners. We have, they have their mousse. We have the gels, and then generally I do sell quite a bit. I suppose the nice thing is, as a hairdresser, I can always recommend. I don't force clients to buy anything, but like I said earlier on, you need to make sure if you're going to be putting all chemical treatments on your hair, you have to make sure you use decent products to make sure you take care of your hair. So I love these ones. When I don't have braids in my hair, these are the same products I make sure I use, because then I'm very passionate about my products, and I will not sell anything to someone if I don't feel like they actually need it.